I was 6 years old when I was taken screaming from my mother. I remember that very, very well. My younger sister and I were placed in a white foster home with 70-year-olds. I was being physically abused every day, called a little black cunt every day. I felt like I was sitting on the fence all my life because being black, the white people didn't want me, and the black people didn't want to know me because I was living with the white fellas. So it was really, really traumatising. I'm Lisa Sansbury. I was born in Adelaide, and my mob come from the Flinders Ranges, Utnamuttana, which means rock people. I describe myself as a strong black woman, considering what I've been through. All I wanted was my mother. I used to cry myself to sleep every night. Yeah. Yeah. And I still have dreams at night time. I've been ripped from my arms every night. It was quite painful, hurtful, and traumatic for me. Because I suffer with bipolar, borderline schizophrenia, when I'm having a really, really bad day, I just pull out the canvas and the paints and just paint, and it takes my mind off of my mental health, and I'm calm and I'm relaxed, and it's a good thing about painting. If I'd been with family, I probably would have been started painting earlier. But I was attending the arts and crafts, and the teacher brought in some canvases, and I sat down and grabbed a canvas and realised that I could dot paint, and it just flowed. And I was at the age of 40. Yeah, I find it very, very relaxing. It calms me down when I have a anxiety, depression attack, or my bipolar plays up. It calms me down. So it's good. Yeah. Just the dots and painting. That's all that's in the mind. Don't think about anything else.
I'm Fiona Tipping, I'm a Palawa woman, and I work for Grampians Disability Advocacy Association. So I'm here to help people like Lisa tell their story to the Royal Commission in some way, shape or form.
Fiona asked me to do a painting, and she said it could be anything, and I said, well, I'm going to do it on my mental health, because that's one of my main issues.
Doing a painting, that's how a lot of people are able to tell their story and get their emotions out. It's a start. So, and Stolen Generation is something that I think we can't shy away from anymore, and I think this is the beginning of that. I think the time has come for people to start telling their stories, because it's just this generational trauma. It just keeps going on and on and on. It's a cycle that will never stop until we actually start fixing things and listening. Respect, just respect.
This painting is all about my anxiety, depression, bipolar, borderline schizophrenia. The black indicates like a black hole that I felt I was stuck in and I couldn't get out because I didn't know what was wrong with me. I thought I was going crazy until I was finally diagnosed. And this here represents Bad Act, like a meeting place. That's where I've got all my help from. And then the blackness is my mental health. And the white represent, like to me, a ladder climbing where I'm getting better and on medication and able to live life to the best that I can with medication, because before I was just an absolute mess. Yeah, so that's the story of my painting.
Yeah, I think telling her story is doing wonders for her confidence, because it's such a deep personal thing, and it takes a lot of strength. And I think the strength that she's shown in telling her story is creating confidence. It's just wonderful to watch.
It was very, very emotional, traumatic for me, opening up old wounds. But boy, did I feel such a relief letting it off. It was just unbelievable to finally talk about it. And I think it was very, very healing for me. If I didn't have Fiona, I reckon I'd be stuffed. I wouldn't be coping at all, not at all. She's been a great support. On my days off, like bad days, I just ring her and she's available to talk to. She cheers me up. She's been supporting me with Centrelink and she's trying to get me to swap over from aged care package to the NDIS because they offer more.
I was shocked to find she wasn't even on the disability support pension. She should have been on it years ago. And I don't know it's an area of neglect, I think, in Lisa's case. She should have been on the disability support pension a long time ago.
Changing over to NDIS, I have more support. And that's something I'm not really getting from my aged care package. So the future looks bright when I do go to NDIS, and I'm looking forward to it. I've actually never told my kids about my trauma because I feel it was all my fault and that I was guilty. I'm ashamed of it and thinking that why should I make them hurt as much as me? But I guess it has to happen so that they understand where I'm coming from.
When you go revisiting, if you don't have the supports in place to tell your story, if you're telling your story, you're revisiting that trauma. I had to keep telling Lisa that she shouldn't be feeling shame, but she does feel shame because that's what society has told her. She's a drug addict, she's a this, she's a that, whatever. I mean, rather than feeling shame, she should be feeling how strong she is, because it's not easy. It's not easy to rehabilitate yourself. It's bloody hard. And the stigma that follows you is really horrible. And the trauma just keeps going on and on and on.
told by welfare that Mum and Dad were alcoholics and they couldn't look after us. And my father walked out on my mother and left her with 10 kids. So I guess she was struggling herself. Yeah, because at one stage I hated her for giving me up. But I realised, like now, that it wasn't her fault. It was the government's fault. My birth mother died when I was 22. She was murdered, so I didn't get to meet her. And my father died when I was 12 from alcoholism, so I never got to meet them, unfortunately. It wasn't something at that age that I thought of, not until I got older, probably in my teens, that I was missing out on my culture, my language, my people, and it was all stolen from me, and it's something I could never get back. And once I started having children, I kind of pushed all my trauma under the mat, and that's where it sat until my youngest son left home, and that's when it raised its ugly head and started having problems with drugs to kill my pain. But I had an addiction. I went to rehab, but I've been clean for a long time now, and I'm very, very proud that I've succeeded.
People talk about things that happened 200 years ago. It's still happening. Stolen gen's still happening. Kids are still being taken because there's no supports. So rather than take them away, why not bring supports into the family so they can stay with their community? I mean, it's such a simple solution, but they don't do it. You know? And it's just respect. They just got to change things to acknowledge that this is what's happening, what has happened and what continues to happen, and if you don't change it, it's going to continue to happen. So you've got to do things differently.
Please listen to our stories and believe the trauma that we've gone through, because we have gone through this, and how hurtful it has been, taken from our families, our culture, our language. You know, this has got to stop. It did happen, and it happened to me.